Alright, welcome back to the Wrestlemania predictions. Of course, we just did night one, and now we are getting to night two. I am recording this before night one, so if anything happened on night one, I can't exactly comment on it right now. But let's get to the order. Of course, we know Ober and Brock is starting off the show. That means we know that the IC Championship is the second match on the show, because we know those are both in the first hour. And we also know that Roman Reigns and CM Punk is main eventing. Now, I'm afraid they were in the middle of the block thing for the posts, so I just kind of put the Jade and Rhea semi-main event because I put Liv and Stephanie in semi-main event on night one, and then that left Trick Williams and Sami Zayn's match, and the Demon Balor versus Dominik Mysterio. And the only decision that I made between those two is Demon Balor might work a little better late at night, so that's what, even though it doesn't really matter here in game, it might matter a bit more in real life, so that's the whole reason I went between that way round. And then anyways, that's about it, so let's get to the matches, shall we? Well, alright then, starting off, of course, we know which match is starting off. It is possibly, I think, a lot of people seemingly the most hyped, most anticipated match of the two nights. It is, of course, the ruler, Oba Femi, and he is taking on the beast incarnate, Brock Lesnar. I decided I was going to do that bit halfway through the name, but yeah, of course, and he should be accompanied by Paul Heyman, just like the Vision were on the prior night. Maybe Paul Heyman might be a company Gunther as well, but I don't know. Anyways, of course, like I said, this arena is the night 2 version of the arena I used in the last part. I changed a few of the show bits around to make it a bit more of the futuristic-y one, and that, like, as in the show components when you have to do the arena and then you go to the show. Not sure how much I'm really showing of that in these, but anyways, I do remember some of these matches were also very fun to edit, and hopefully we can get to it. I definitely am looking forward to this matchup, but I'm not expecting it to be too long. But we probably are getting down to like single digits how many matches Brock Lesnar has left, probably. Which, I know a lot of people think might be Gunther, might be the one taking him on. And the thing is, I kind of want Oba to win, because I feel like that'd be a huge burst of the thing, but I'm hearing what people are saying, and the fact that Brock is like losing like all these kind of situations that these two have been having, it does kind of make sense for him to not also lose that. I mean, it doesn't hurt him too much. Jeez, talking of hurting. But I do kind of see that point of view that because Brock's lost everything, it feels like building up to the show, building up to it. Because even though they didn't fight in the last episode of Raw, it still felt like Oba had the upper hand because Brock kind of just signed the contract, I think. I can't even remember. But obviously I remember at least Oba having a solid promo against Paul Heyman, which is obviously pretty big to have a promo against Paul Heyman. That's a pretty big deal. So it does feel like Oba's basically had the upper hand on every front. So, you know, I could definitely see that argument for Brock Lesnar winning this match because of that. And I think that has convinced me that I am going to go with. I do believe Brock Lesnar is winning this matchup, but I do kind of hope that Oba Femi wins this matchup. There's one thing I do. I think it wouldn't hurt. Part of me wouldn't mind him losing though, depending on if they can get a rematch or not. Because if they can get like a rematch or something, that would be cool. But part of me is also thinking like, as much as I think Oba Femi should definitely be treated like a force, I don't know how much I want him to see him get treated like a Gunther type situation. And I feel like we're getting to that point where I feel like he's also kind of taken up like Powerhouse's Hobbs spot or Royce Keys. So of course Royce Keys won the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. And I feel like, I don't know, just because they're both here, and they both came in at the same time, one of them was going to get more of a spotlight and one of them wasn't. And it meant that Oba Femi, because he's the homebred superstar, he got that. Because I think it was a bit poor timing for Royce Keys to come in when he did. Especially when he was still AEW World Trios Champions. But I don't know. It's just like Gunther. I felt like Gunther were always like things just feel too little for him now. It's just any random like rivalry, and I don't necessarily want Oba to turn into that. I don't think he will, but I think it's definitely possible. But anyways, nonetheless, I do believe that Brock Lesnar is beating Oba Femi, and I definitely do believe this will be a fun short match. Might be one of the shortest matches on the whole 2 nights. Which that was a nasty jumping suplex. I think Oba's head went right into one of the lighting rigs. Jeez. Oh, of course he is. Yep. Well, you can see a little bit of the futuristic thing down there with the nameplate, so I guess I'm showing that at least. That's the second one that WWE2K26 has predicted will be a count-out to end the match. As it is very possible that Brock Lesnar does win this match. But yeah, I don't believe it in that way. I hope it doesn't. That would be very disappointing. Anyways, what does WWE 2K26 think the match rating will be? It thinks it will be a 2-star. It's probably because it ended on a count out. But yeah. Anyways, on to what I believe will be a very fun matchup. It is that Intercontinental Championship 6-man ladder match. And of course, we need to get through all 6 men. So, in this match, we are having the young OG Javon Evans. We are also having the Irish Ace, Judgment Day member JD McDonagh, our resident Funko Pop in the WWE. Also, we have Dragon Lee. I can't think of a nickname for him. The man with the most underrated theme song. There you go. That's a nickname for him. That works. We, of course, had the Bulgarian Brute. I don't think he's been called that in a minute. It is Rusev. Crush. And then, of course, the one that got announced last minute, and we thought he was taking on Gunther, but he said, no, it doesn't work for me. But, no, that match has been said. Oh, how about me turning up for the IC Championship match? It is, of course, the greatest little man in all of WWE, Rey Mysterio. Can I still say that? I don't know. And, of course, it is the champ, the man with zero fear. It is Penta. Of course, the championship is hanging above the ring, so he has not got it around his waist. But he's got all the cool pyro, so that's all that matters. Anyways, without further ado, that is all 6 men in this matchup. Let's move, operator. Anyways, let's get to this matchup, which apparently Javon Evans has a self-promo challenge. I believe that says to not take too much damage. That's going to be a little difficult in a 6-man ladder match. As presenting already. As the carnage is going down already. Between Rusev and Rey Mysterio there. Just said this will be a very fun one. I'm glad, at least from a simulating perspective, that this one was in the opposite night to the women's tag match. Because obviously those are both the two, like, lots of people in the matchup. Very chaotic. The women's match won't be as chaotic as I think it could be if it was the same style of tag match as the one we had earlier on in the thing. Anyways, let's get to who I believe will win and who I want to win. I do believe that Javon Evans is winning this matchup. I very much do believe that Javon is winning this. Which I think if he doesn't win this will harden my belief that Trick Williams will win later. I do believe at least one of those, if not both of those, are winning a championship tonight because they're both like the up-and-comers. And I do believe at least one of them is getting a championship tonight. So if it isn't Javon, it will solidify my belief in Trick. If Javon wins this, it will loosen my belief in Trick winning it a little bit. But yeah, I do believe Javon is winning this. And honestly, I don't really mind out of anybody who really wins this, to be honest. Oh yeah, there you go. Javon's just failed his challenge. That didn't take long though. The match went on a lot longer. Of course, this is cutting out the way. Obviously, I'm doing my best. I've done my best with these cuts, and I'm not quite sure how much to do it. Some matches are obviously longer than others, and they'll be cut down more and less than others. This is obviously a bit more chaotic with that table break being somewhat whacked onto a ladder there, you know. And there's 6 of them, so it's more stuff can happen. But yeah, I don't know. I think the only person I don't really want to win this, and I feel like it's kind of maddening me saying it, is Rey Mysterio. Just because, I don't know, I just don't think it does anything for me. It would be nice. I don't think I care too much for Rusev winning, but I think I'd rather him win than Rey. I think it could be cool for JD to be champ. It'd be nice for him to be a singles champ and kind of like attempt to get out on his own now that he's not with Balor. I think that could be the motive. And, well, yeah, him and JD, like, I don't know. We never got that one-on-one matchup, so I feel like JD winning the IC Championship would be a very nice way to get Balor to at least, like, them to have a one-on-one match. It doesn't have to have a title, but that could be a nice way to, you know, up the stakes, I guess, a little bit. Because as much as I'd love Balor, jeez, what a landing. Like, I would love Balor to go for that World Championship. I don't know if he ever will win it again, so I'm losing a little hope. I want him to win, but I don't know. We need that redemption. Like I said, I did it with my universe mode because I wanted to do that bad, you know what I mean? But yeah, I wanted... So I feel like JD winning that, I would like that for that reason. Otherwise, I'm very happy for Javon or Penta to be winning it. But does not look like either of those will be winning it in terms of who 2K26 believes will win it. They believe it will be the man that I think I put at the bottom of the ranking everywhere I wanted to win. It is one Rey Mysterio. Like I said, no, not like I dislike Rey, but I think I just wanted him to win a little less than Rusev. Because I don't want him to get injured for like a third time. So yeah, it's happening a lot. Anyways, they believe it will be a 4-star matchup. Anyways, let's get into the next matchup. And looks like Javon's on a bit of a cold streak now. 4-star, amazing, solid. That's how it will be an amazing match, I do believe that. Anyways, up next, it is Trick Williams. He's accompanied by Lil Yachty. I do believe he will be. I don't know if he will be for sure. And then, of course, he is taking on the champion, Sami Zayn. The maybe still underdog Sami Zayn, I don't know. Of course, this is for the United States Championship. Which I think kind of already prefaced who I do believe was going to win this. So I think I've fucked myself over a little bit because I've completely forgot the match was up next. But yeah, nonetheless, of course, like I said, the United States title match. It's a shame that Melo isn't in this because it could have worked for sure. And like I said, it would have been very nice. There's definitely a lot of people that have missed Mania this year. But I do kind of agree with some people's perspective. I think I've heard somebody say it's like, for Mania to be special for people to be on, like, not everybody can be on it every year. You know what I mean? So as much as it sucks, I feel like if we can have that little bit of prestige of it, it's difficult to get on the show. As much as I believe that Melo deserves it. It just feels that a little bit more for somebody to be on the show. If it's less likely for everybody. Now there's no Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal on the show anymore. Obviously, like I said, it feels that way a lot. But Melo's still young. I think I want to say early 30s. So he's got plenty of chance. I do believe he will be on Mania. Or at least in the next few years. Anyways, let's get to this matchup. Of course, like I said earlier, I do believe Trick Williams is winning this matchup. But I could very much see if Javon wins the ladder match, it to go Sami Zayn's way instead. And of course, vice versa. If Javon loses, then Trick, I believe, will almost definitely win this match. But I still definitely believe both could win this matchup, but win their respective matchups, and that is what I am going for. And honestly, that's kind of what I want to. I want Trick to win, and just because I don't dislike Sami Zayn as much as everybody else does, but I do kind of feel like he looked like he was maybe going for the world title, and maybe was getting interesting with like the way he was kind of like talking to everybody. You know what I mean? And I found that interesting. And then he kind of just went, oh, I'm just going to win the United States title off Melo. You know what I mean? It felt like a bit of a, oh, we were building to something. Oh, but we've decided to not do that and just swung him over to the IC Championship the US Championship so he could get a match at Mania. You know what I mean? It's kind of how it's just kind of felt. And I think as soon as he got into that matchup, it stopped being interesting. This drive for him to be onto it. Maybe this was the whole plan all along. And if so, it's, geez, Trick Williams with a low blow. I think that's a bit... I think they knew what they were doing, to be fair. I was definitely interested in Sami Zayn for a bit, but like with the build, but then as soon as it went, the build was to a US Championship match and to win the title and to stop Melo from getting to Mania. That's where I think it lost everybody, but I think that was the defining moment for sure. So, as much as I'm not gonna hate on Sami Zayn winning the US Championship, I can remember when I was in Birmingham and Sami Zayn brought the IC Championship just after Mania. Was it just after? Yeah, it was just after Mania, I think. Yeah, it had to be if he was champion, yeah. Because Damian Priest was like, oh, it's my first title defense, and it was against Kofi Kingston. So yeah, it had to be just after Mania. So, that I did very much enjoy, like, you know, and I'm a big fan of Sami Zayn then. And I think a lot of people were, to be fair. But, I'm not hating on Sami Zayn. I'm very happy to see more of Trick Williams on my screen. This version of Sami Zayn, not so much. If we can go back to what he was before he won the championship and like all the throwing water bottles around him, maybe even getting a little like accusatory in a lot of ways, and maybe even a little heely type situation, like heelish. I think if we can get back to that, and maybe have him go after a world title, I don't know. I feel like that could be more interesting than him just holding the US Championship and doing more open challenges. As much as I'm not hating on the open challenges, I think if I had to see one of them on my screen more, even with that heel, like kind of the way Sami Zayn was going at just before the championship, I'd still pick Trick Williams. So yeah, long story short, I want Trick Williams to win, and I believe he's winning. But like I said, I think the Javon match could tip the scales a little bit on my belief as I'm watching the show. But I guess we'll just have to see as things go on. Which, talking as things goes on, it feels like this match has gone on a little bit longer. I believe it'll be one of the short matches of the night, to be fair, because it's just because I mean it'll be longer than Ober Brock. Which, to think about it, trick knee there by Williams. Is he picking up the victory? No. Is it just for Ober, Javon, and Triple all the main event stand and deliver last year? I'm pretty sure they were the main event. And now all three of them have got a big match at Mania. And all three of them could win. Which has now also just made me think, makes it even less likely. I feel like at least one of those has got to win and one of them has got to lose. Out of the three, like, up-and-comers to NXT that have come up literally in the past few months. Well, at Rumble, effectively. I think Trick came in just before Rumble, actually. If I'm not mistaken. He came on to the road to Rumble type time. And Javon was doing bits and stuff here and there, but he officially, I think, came up after that, maybe? I don't know. But yeah, I do believe that's made me question it now. Yeah, well, to be fair, I said that Brock was beating Ober. So I think at least one of those three has to lose and one of those three has to win. And I think Ober, out of all of them, is most likely to lose. I think I think Trick's most likely to win. Just a smidge over Javon. But it could go anyway, really. I guess we'll see. Jeez, I thought that was it. But yeah, very much. I mean, all three could win, all three could lose. I don't believe all three will lose. I think it's more likely all three will win, but I'm betting on at least one of them losing. Anyways, will Trick Williams be the one losing? Because I believe the Brock beat Ober and Javon lost. Will they believe Trick will lose too? They do. The one that I believe was the most unlikely outcome of the three. Out of every combination, WWE 2K26 has decided they believe is the outcome that will happen. They believe it will be Sami Zayn that walks out with the United States title, and all three of those guys will lose their matches at Mania. I believe that is incredibly unlikely, but that's where we are different. Apparently, Trick Williams, it sounds like he's been injured, and it was a 4-star match, so apparently it was amazing. Well then, let's get on to the next match then. We have got Dirty Dominik Mysterio with my Community Creations AAA Championship because I'm too tight to buy the ringside pass. And he is, of course, taking on the not-so-updated demon Finn Balor, because it's definitely, I'm pretty sure, the one at WrestleMania 39 had purple in it. But nonetheless, without further ado, it's the grudge match. No AAA title on the line, though. I think that could have been cool, especially if Dominik is winning this matchup, which we'll get to that in a second. Let's go, Balor, Dominik. I could have put an attire on Balor, but it's nice to see like the paint get worn off. Which, geez, as you can see, is already worn off plenty from all those strikes. And I'm sure it'll wear off more as time goes on. Anyways, let's get to the predictions, shall we? Who do I think's winning this match? Well, I think we could very much see Dominik being by himself in this encounter, because JD just wrestled in a ladder match, and he could probably go through a brutal spot, and that'll probably be part of that match. Then you've also got Liv, Raquel, and Roxanne, which, if something does happen, even if it doesn't fully complete an utter betrayal, there could be at least issues in the clubhouse, as it were. So could leave Dominik very much by himself to take on Finn Balor. Do I believe that'll be the case? I'm leaning. I don't know. But what I do believe is, as much as I want Finn Balor to win, I so badly want Finn Balor to win, I think Dominik's picking up the victory. Quite honestly, I do believe Dominik is picking up the victory. Just, yeah, I don't have much more to say on. I feel like at this point we're like, a lot of us are hoping for Finn Balor to win things, but deep down we know he's probably losing the majority of his big matches, and this is just another one of those cases. You know, we could go back. He lost both his World Championship matches, but we obviously expected him to lose the Elimination Chamber match, or one at Elimination Chamber. You know, we can even think back to when the Judgment Day was feuding, and I'm pretty sure Damian Priest won every single singles match between him and Balor. Balor lost to Edge at WrestleMania 39. I mentioned that earlier. You know, they lost their tag titles at Mania 40. So, it's hard to think of a time where Balor, like, other than winning the World Tag Team titles on a couple of occasions, really got any big wins. So, as much as he really needs this, and I really want him to have it, I just don't see it happening. It just feels part of Balor at this point is just to lose big matches. And we know how high WWE is on Dominik Mysterio, with every right and reason to be, which is why I do believe Dominik is walking out on top. Though I did mention the Triple H Mega Championship is not on the line. That is that little inkling bit of hope that Dominik wins this match. Sorry, Balor wins this match, sorry. That is because the Triple H Championship isn't on the line. Otherwise, like, if it was on the line, it would be obvious that Dominik is winning it. Where if Balor, even though Balor had his own thing with I've forgotten his fucking name and I'm going to get slaughtered for this. The lizard guy, Mr. Iguana, that was it. Lizard. Yeah, I do believe that as much as Balor had his thing with Demonito, and that guy, I guess they could go down that route if they were to, which they're not going to, of course, because the title's not on the line. It could very well at least make it that little bit more interesting, I guess, but it would make it that little less viable for Balor to win. But now the title's not on the line, it makes it a bit more likely to Balor to win, but at the same time, maybe that's exactly what they want us to think. To have that bit more hope for Balor for then Dominik to win anyways. But I think Balor really does need to win, because if he loses this, where the fuck does he go from here? Where Dominik can, like, come back from a loss here, I don't know if Balor can. But yeah, so I really do hope Balor's winning, but there's as much as I've just literally the last comment I said about I don't know where Balor goes from here, so he really needs this win, I still just see Dominik winning this. Which is a real shame. But I guess we will see for sure on night 2. But yeah, there was something else I was going to say then I can't even fucking remember it now. But yeah, and especially the fact that Dominik's just won there. Yeah, all right, it just saved me from struggling. I was going to say the last time we saw the Demon as well lost. Like I said, I mentioned WrestleMania 39, so I felt like the Demon needs to win it as well, because the match before that it was the loss to Roman Reigns as well. So not even just Balor needs to win, but the Demon gimmick also needs to win. But anyways, looks like WWE26 agrees with my prediction that Dominik will win, and they believe it will be a 3.5-star matchup. Anyways, from one match with a former Judgment Day member to another, it is Rhea bloody Ripley, and she is taking on Jade Cargill for that WWE Women's Championship. And damn, Michin and B-Fab looking cool also. Kind of reminds me of like Yotosuji and Daiki Nagai when back in the G1 where Yotosuji had some of that lighting, and sometimes it worked on some of the arenas and sometimes it didn't. And how badass Daiki Nagai looked walking up to it afterwards. Anyways, Rhea is I was going to say Rhea's starting out. Fuck me. I'm tired. Rhea, Jade Cargill, let's go. And of course, we've got Io Sky, B-Fab and Michin all at ringside. I do believe it will start off with nobody at ringside, because Rhea will go to Io or something. And let me do this by myself. I want to be there by myself. I don't want you to get hurt. Yada, yada, yada. But then B-Fab and Michin will get involved. Io Sky's music hits. And then Io Sky will get involved as well. Which will very much also then at least serve as Io. She hasn't got a match, but at the very least could very much well at least they'll have a WrestleMania moment, or at least be featured on the show to some level of degree. That's kind of like 2 segments type thing, one just before the match and then one during it, or at least one before the entrances at the very least, because it might be just the case of Rhea walks through Gorilla and Io's there or something, just like I could have very much imagined Cody Rhodes doing the same with Jelly Roll. I think it might like for like happen. Literally just copy and paste the Cody and Jelly Roll segment for Rhea and Io or something like that, you know. Maybe with a few different words, I guess. But yeah. As much as who I believe will win this and who I want to win this, I can't really believe the words are coming out of my mouth, but I kind of want Rhea to win. I mean, I don't dislike Rhea Ripley by any chance of the means, and I'm very glad that she went into the women's tag team title division, because I think her and Io in there did wonders for the division for a bit. And like I said, I have no issue with Rhea, just, you know, a little time away from the world title pictures. I mentioned with the Liv Morgan Women's World Championship title reign was mainly just Rhea Ripley, and even when Rhea wasn't like actively fighting for it, she was still kind of like I'm coming back for that title later. That title is mine. She was mentioning it. Felt like she was still effectively there, just kind of in the shadows instead of actually being there. So it kind of just left that feeling about that. So I was like, I'm not always that thrilled when Rhea surrounds that title too much. I'm not the first one to say that. I'm not going to be the last one. But as far as I'm aware, I'm much happier for her to take that title and go on a long reign with it than to Jade Cargill to keep it. To be honest, right? Like I said, that space from that world's title division and her being in the women's tag division has definitely like kept it a little bit fresher for Rhea for me, and I'm happy to see her be champion again. I don't mind it. It's not exactly something I'm rooting for, but I haven't got any issues with it, and hopefully it'll be good. But Jade's title reign has not been anything but good. Maybe we can at least give her the opportunity to be good if she wins this, but you know, unless like Io Sky fucking turns on Rhea Ripley or something, or the Kabuki Warriors come in afterwards to then to attack Io, which then distracts Rhea, or something like that. I do believe Rhea is winning this matchup, and that's who I hope wins. I could believe Jade Cargill to win this, but I do think Rhea's taking it. But I'm on the fence a little bit with it, but I do believe Rhea is taking it home. I'm just trying to think. I think it's not exactly. I don't believe we've got any plans to go to Australia any soon, because if we were, then that would obviously push my belief a little bit further. Because, you know, it's not a secret that promoters like to make sure people challenge, at the very least challenge for, like, on the card, you know. We had Dynasty not too long ago. We had Speedball Mike Bailey in the Casino Battle Royal. We had Edge and Christian challenge for the tag team titles. Kyle O'Reilly return, you know. Not big Canadian wrestlers going in. No, I completely forgot Kyle O'Reilly was Canadian, but, you know. It was just kind of one of those, it's kind of one of those things, obviously. So, but as far as I'm aware, there's no time we're going to Australia anytime soon. I'm sure we will be back at some point, but as far as I'm aware, it's not actually been left in stone at the minute, because it's not exactly a short trip. So, yeah, but I still do believe Rhea is winning it. That would just make me a bit more confident in the idea, because I'm very much on the fence. But I am leaning more towards Rhea Ripley. I think that's partially because I want Rhea to win more. That might be just the thing that's pushing me on the fence on who I think will win. But yeah, I don't know. For sure, though. I think this match could be, I don't know. I hope it's good, but I don't know for sure. Because Jade's had some okay ones, but yeah, I don't know. It's definitely not going to be match of the night, that is for sure. I very much do believe that. Yeah, what do I think will be match of the night? Like I said, I think Ober and Brock will be simple, but I don't think it has to be match of the night. I think it very much could be between like the ladder match, and yeah, I think it might just be the ladder match. To be fair, thinking about it, like yeah, I don't know for sure. Anyways, Jade Cargill, I feel like that's the second Jaded, isn't it? That's probably gonna be it, isn't it? Everybody's gonna resiliency. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Well, it looks like WWE 2K26 disagrees with me. I said I wanted Rhea to win, and I believe she will win. WWE 2K26 is yet again gone against me and believes that Jade Cargill is winning this. I believe 2K26 has gone more against my predictions. Actually, no, I think it went against, I think a lot of my predictions and my wants were opposing in night one, and it very much went against all of them. And it seemingly very much, like, it went with my predictions and not the ones I wanted. This is just going against both tonight. It's just going against people I want to win and the people I think will win. But yeah, nonetheless, 2K26 believes Jade Cargill will win and will believe this match will be a 4-star amazing matchup. But now we are on to the main event of WrestleMania in its entirety. We have got the OTC, the Royal Rumble winner Roman Reigns, taking on the best in the world. The man that was the showcase was focused around. Those videos will come out soon. It is CM Punk, that World Heavyweight Champion. Of course, it is for the World Heavyweight Championship. Is this the first time World Heavyweight Championship is main eventing any nights of WrestleMania? This version, I do believe it is, because I believe Rollins was the first one to hold it, and he main evented night 1 as champion, but didn't defend it until night 2 of WrestleMania 4, of course, night 2. Then what was it last year? Yeah, Jay and Gunter open Mania night 1. So yeah, the world title is open both nights, but it is yet to main event either night. Now it is main eventing the entire show, so that's kind of big. That's nice for that World Heavyweight Championship. Get a bit more prestige in it. I've definitely been looking forward to this matchup. The build's been a bit all over the place a little bit. You know, sometimes with the Usos, there was that whole powerbomb through the table, and Punk was laughing, and that felt very interesting. And then they kind of went away from it and didn't touch that again. And Punk's also been kind of focused on Pat McAfee a little bit, and so has Roman. So it's kind of been a little bit weird coming to the end, like the home stretch of it. But other than that, I actually really did enjoy the build up until like the last little bit. It felt like it kind of lost the plot a little bit. You know, like shit, we've still got a few more weeks. What do we do? All right, I'll do this. But anyways, to be fair, it makes sense to CM Punk's character though, to also go after Pat McAfee, so I'm not complaining too much about that. And I heard people predicting it might be like we might have a WWE vs TKO situation at some point, and Roman Reigns could be TKO, like Team TKO or something. So yeah, if they are building to that could be cool. If it is cool, if it goes down right. But anyways, nonetheless, let's actually get to the predictions of this matchup in very specific about who is winning this matchup. Alright, I want CM Punk to win. That is 100% what I want. Because I understand Roman, why he's got a limited schedule. It's just better for his health, and I understand that, and I respect that, and I would never want him to, like fuck up his future, and, you know, he's a dad and whatnot. So I think multiple kids. I remember seeing some advert many years ago with him, like when he was still like Big Dog Roman Reigns, and I think he had one daughter, but I think I heard him he's got a second kid now. I could be mistaken. He might have more. I don't know. But so I'd never want like Roman Reigns to like endanger his health or anything. But for that reason, I don't know if I necessarily want him holding that world championship, especially like because like the less. The likely less time he might be around. Maybe he might show up a bit more because he's champion. I could be wrong, like, you know. But at the end of the day, especially if Pat McAfee stays around for this Randy Orton possible WWE title reign, I don't want that to be the only real world champion on the men's side of things that's there at the minute. And you know, if Jade Cargill wins and her title reign stays the same as it is now, you know, like, out of the 4 world champions, we'll have, like, a one solid one. We'll live. But if she ends up, like, fucking focusing on Stephanie Vacquer for 6 months or whatever, like, the Rhea, then it's, you know... Or even if Stephanie keeps it, and hopefully she doesn't focus around the same people, but she may just circle around the Judgment Day. Either way. So, like I said, we need something solid in. I think Punk, out of possibly every bet, is the best bet as a solid champion. And have a solid title reign still. Realistically speaking, because he's had a good title reign so far. I think he's the best call out of all those possibly to have. That's most likely to have a solid title reign after Mania, for however much longer Punk will hold it for. So I do want CM Punk to win for those reasons. Who do I think will win? Honestly, I think this might be the match I'm most split on who I believe will win. I'm really struggling to come up with an idea. I think there's an argument for either. CM Punk could very much win just purely from the fact that, you know, Roman Reigns will have a lighter schedule. But I could also very much believe Roman Reigns could win just purely because CM Punk's been champion for it feels like a little while now. So I could really see it go either way. And it realistically is a coin toss. And I feel like that's a shitty answer. And I really want to give an answer. And I'm going to kind of hopefully just will myself to just pick one. I think as much as I want Punk to win, I think there's that tiny little bit more of me that believes Roman Reigns is winning. Just that tiny little bit more. I think that's why I feel like I'm basically 50-50. Is because I believe Roman Reigns is winning that little bit more, but I want Punk to win that little bit more. And I think for the reasons why I say I want Punk to win more, they might listen. But, you know, I don't know. I don't think Roman Reigns really needs any more world titles, to be fair. He had that really long title reign, so I think he's good. But yeah, I don't know. I could see Roman Reigns winning. I could see that being a TKO call as well, actually. Roman Reigns winning. And very much if that storyline does happen, Roman Reigns being champion will be a lot harder, like, kind of that push that, like, WWE, like, got that uphill battle. If that does happen. But anyways, another spear there by Roman. Is that going to be it? 1, 2, and a 3. Looks like 2K26, I think for the first time this night, agrees with my prediction. And that's the one of the times that I think maybe the one and only time my prediction is the one I don't want. No, I think I said I wanted Oba to win, didn't I? So I was going to say the only time that my prediction wasn't the same one as who I wanted to win. But yeah. Anyways, hopefully this has been solid. I don't know, with all the cuts and whatnot, I've done my best, but and you know, I'm learning still with all this. And WWE26 believes this to be the greatest of all time, 5-star matchup. But yeah. I mean, I'm sure there's places where I'm improving, and hopefully I will on future prediction videos. But anyways, that's been it for me. Enjoy WrestleMania. Thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you sometime soon. Peace.